Hi, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. What a great month of prosperity coming for you as we roll into the month of June and we see a stellium in your second house of earnings. And most importantly, you will have your planet Venus cooperating in the earnings house. And this is nothing short of one of your best ever Venus and Taurus transits Venus and Gemini transits that is going to really give you a financial boost and maybe even a career boost. We'll be talking about that in great detail as this month progresses. We'll go through each of the events that you need to pay attention to time your best life. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, fixed stars, and minor asteroids. Hit that like button, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share my content, help me thrive and grow here on YouTube so that I can keep providing the 20 to 30 videos that I do every month for you. If you want to get on board my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, I'm having a contest for the whole month of May. This video will be coming out in the last third of May. Sign up for my newsletter. You might win a prize, free readings, free courses, and free other things. Now, everything I just talked about is in the description box below. Did I say when you listen for your sun, you're listening about your career and purpose, and listening about the moon, it's your mother and your body. But if you're listening for the rising sign, you're listening for things that are all about you. So try all three. I think I did that already. I've been recording a lot today. And today is May the 7th. And this goes to my Patreon community for early access ad-free. Okay, so let's start off with the big one. Venus is moving into the sign of Gemini, the sign of the twins, and that is your second house. And she will slide there on May the 24th. So as we move into the month of June, she's already in there, and she leaves on June the 16th. It's her last day in there. So between May 24th and June 16th, you're going to experience some positive developments regarding your resources, your money, your possessions, your savings. And she loves her pleasures here. And you may actually indulge in some dietary pleasures because this is your mouth, the second house, what you put into your throat. And so you might have more of a sense of wanting to have some real pleasures in life, to splurge, to get some kind of fancy meals at a restaurant, to eat foods that just bring you pleasure, even if they're not so good for you. You may also be more beautiful facially, get a new haircut, a new makeup routine, veneers. You can do cosmetic procedures quite safely with Venus in your second house because that is the house of your face. So Venus makes you feel maybe more facially attractive, and your speech can be more eloquent, and your food style is sourcing itself in pleasure. But also this is your earnings and your resources and your savings and your bank account, and that is going to get a lush up here as well for some reason. Partly, I would say some of the positivity is coming off of Pluto, because Pluto is up in your 10th house, and this could indicate a powerful new work opportunity or career opportunity or job opportunity in the month of June. Now, when Venus is in your second house, she's also really good for raises, promotions, and salary increases, especially with Pluto in your 10th house, really opening up gates of financial opportunity through matters connected to work. Venus will move on the 17th of June into the sign of Cancer, and she'll be there till July 11th. A lot of you might go for leisure and pleasure travel during this transit of June 17th to July 11th. And some of you may also be very focused on beautifying your website, doing more social media stuff, being very active third house with friends in the local neighborhood and socializing and enjoying that kind of company. This is also Venus moving through a house that has to do with communication and writing and selling. And those things can be very positive for you during and effectively, successful for you during the time that we were talking about. That again is June the 17th to July the 11th. I hope I said June the 17th to July the 11th because I might have glitched and talked about Mercury's dates. So June the 17th to July the 11th, Venus loves you up in your third house, and you'll find that those things that I said are good. Travel is there, but also, do you want to take a course? Do you want to learn from someone or study or teach something that's a skill to others? Those things are also very successful and blessed as well. And then just more fun in the neighborhood with your neighbors, doing social activities, enjoying your neighbors and neighborhood life and the local stores and the local restaurants and the local bars a lot more. And then we want to talk a little bit here about Mercury, because Mercury is also busy doing things in tandem with Venus, the Lord of your sign. He will move into Gemini June 3rd to 17th. Now, don't forget, Venus is there as well until June 16th. So you're going to see the two of them hanging out together until the middle of June, until June 17th. And having both Mercury and Venus together is a formula in your second house for some kind of financial deals, negotiations, and contracts that are lucrative and prosperous. It's really good for selling something and haggling to sell it, buying something, a new car, a new possession, anything. And we do have the sun traveling through Gemini as well, and that sun rules your fourth house. So it could also be things to do with buying and selling real estate, property. And there's also even the possibility of a new rental contract for a home for many of you people who are Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. And it's just a little bit more like you have the extra edge when it comes to financial success, especially when it comes to deals and negotiations and contracts and exchanges of emails and phone calls about monetary matters. Again, that's because Mercury and Venus are together in your second house all the way from June the 3rd to the 17th. On June the 18th, Mercury will leave the sign of Gemini and he will move into your third house, and he will be there from June the 18th to July 3rd. Now, they're tracking pretty closely, Venus and Mercury. They're really beside each other much of this time because Venus on June 17th moves into the same place, into the sign of Cancer. So you're going to see that the last half of June, you've got Mercury and Venus together in a very busy house. This can look like a lot of social activity, a lot of conversations, a lot of emails, phone calls, and text messages going back and forth, a lot of social media success, great for launching a website, great for getting it on social media, great for short distance trips and travel, great for communication with siblings and extended family members. All that is super blessed for you. As I mentioned, the dates were June the 18th to July the 3rd, with Mercury in the sign of Cancer, your third house, with Venus there as well. Mars is moving through your sign of you, Taurus. Mars is moving into the kingdom of Taurus, the bull. This is Venus's real estate. He doesn't like it here necessarily. He feels awkward because it's a sign of femininity and beauty and goodness, and he's a guy of war and discord. So it's separation. Venus unites, Mars separates, and so he's having to make do. I always think it's like the warrior in the peacekeep in the spa. I think it's like getting the warrior off the battlefield and making him go into a nail salon to get a pedicure. So as Mars is moving through here, though, you will have benefits. First of all, you might find yourself way more action-oriented, decisive, direct, passionate, and focused on driven on something that you're wishing to accomplish. And if that energy is here for you, which it will be, it's not going away quickly. It's a long transit, June the 9th to July the 21st. So you have an all systems go vibe about getting what you want and doing it with a great sense of power and focus and decision-making and action-taking stamina. But it's, of course, Taurus, and it is a fixed sign, and it doesn't really like change. So everything is incremental or steady or in a pace that works for you. And when Mars is moving through here, he's eventually going to hook up with Uranus, not during the month of June. But it is important for you to note that because Uranus's energy is infusing you. You want freedom. You're a rebel. You're a rebellion. You're coloring outside your own lines since 2019. You're redefining yourself, the new normal, your freak flag. You're breaking your own rules. That's been true for you, Tauruses, ever since 2018, actually, ingress of Uranus into Taurus. And Mars is co-present in June with Uranus at the late degrees of Taurus. So you might feel this like urge to rebel, this urge to break free, this urge for busting out of some restrictions in your life, all the way from June the 9th to July the 21st. Really get ready for that. Now let's break down the month bit by bit, and we're going to talk about the dates to pay attention to. Venus is the Lord of your sign, so by far the most exciting thing going on here, by far, is that she's going to come into the heart of the sun in Gemini, which is your money house, and that's coming up right at the beginning of the month. Let's break the month down bit by bit. Grab a pen or a paper to keep track of the dates for your future if you want, or just re-listen to this video every now and then. So the first thing we want to address is at the beginning of the month, between June the 1st and the 7th, Venus is really close to the sun and is in an ongoing state of conjunction. Most of that, she's burning up in the beams of the sun and she's not in good shape, but she will be in a very celestially powerful position on June the 4th when she comes into the heart of the sun at 14 degrees of the sign of Gemini. Now, this is your money and earnings, resources, savings, bank account type of house. And this energy is going to be reset. It's a reset button that lasts about 4 years, because 4 years from now, Venus will come back into the heart of the sun in Gemini yet again. This time she's going into the heart of the sun in a forward direction, and she's being born, like she's not retrograde, being born as the actual evening star and visible in our sky in July. Therefore, don't look for everything to happen on June the 4th, but rather perhaps in July, a bit of a delay where she becomes visible again, and we can see the outpicturing of the promise that she's giving you in your money and earnings house. So it can look like a very blessed opportunity in the 9.5 months that follow this June the 4th Cazimi for a new job, for a new career path, for new work opportunities. You have Venus flowing to Pluto in your 10th house. And this is like, okay, why the hell not? Pluto is way up there. It's a whole sign, trine energy, air trine. So I think things like getting a ideal, powerful job, great salary, great earnings, incredibly lucky with that stuff. Also, it's not too bad for you resetting something to do with your appearance over the course of the next 9.5 months, maybe doing some facial procedures to improve your face of some kind, cosmetic, for example, or work on your teeth. Kind of gives you a blessing around that, especially active in the first 9.5 months until her next star point in the sign of Aries. But it's also a blessing energetically for the next 4 years. We have Jupiter here, of course, as well. And Jupiter moved into the sign of Aries back in the end of May. And so Jupiter is also activating more abundance, more fertility, more growth, more expansion of your financial situation. And you could definitely increase your earnings, increase your savings, plant golden eggs of resources here. But this is true all the way through till next year. But with Venus star pointing and Jupiter there midwiving it, this is pretty powerful. Also, we have Mercury here during the star point, and this is a very important piece of story. So really lean in with me. Mercury and Jupiter will be together in the sky when this star point happens. And this is going to open up a trine to Lord Pluto. Now, Pluto is power. Jupiter is opportunity. Powerful opportunities in work and career and money through phone calls, emails, text messages, mercurial news. It's very exciting. It's a very bounteous, success-oriented, achievement-oriented vibe. And it does really connect to the work and career stories for you. The money, the career, boom, something really nice going on, guys. And that Jupiter trine Pluto, Mercury trine Pluto, because Mercury and Jupiter are together, is exceptionally positive window of time for applying for a job, for example, or getting good news about something in your financial stuff connected to your career path. Again, this is happening between June 1st and the 7th. And so get ready for that. Well, next we have on the 3rd and 4th. Oh, did I cover that? Yes, I did. Next on June, the 3rd and 4th, when the Cazimi happens, is when Mercury and Pluto are the most tightly trine. Mercury and Jupiter are most tightly trine Pluto. So really that Cazimi itself is such a spark of goodness for your finances. Then on June the 10th to the 12th, there's some difficult energy in the sky. Mars and Pluto are having a conversation called a square, and it can be really a difficult time for you about something you need to go to battle with or have an argument about, or stand your ground, or go to war for. Good luck with that Mars in Taurus, right? But you can be like a charging bull for something that you need to make a stand on about something to do with work and career matters. Now, Mars cuts, ends, and severs, and Pluto is destruction. So possibly you may quit a job or get fired or destroy a job or something June 10th to 12th. I'm not too worried about that, because whatever's going on the first 7 days of June looks so good on your money. I'm not going to even go there. I mean, maybe you can quit your job because you have some money and you don't even need to work. So it's just that there's some tension in work, and you are the one with the beef. You're the one with the sword in your hand. And a lot of advocacy when Mars is like this, like maybe you're championing or advocating for some situation in the workplace, that kind of stuff. On June the 14th, Mercury goes into the heart of the sun. I'll put a link to my Mercury Kazemi webinar. Come join me. We do magical things together. I'll probably do a free webinar for that. Depends if I'm back or not from my trip to Portugal, but I probably will be. And so there will be a link to the free webinar in the description box below. But on June the 14th, Mercury comes into the heart of the sun, a superior conjunction in direct motion, and he will do that at 23 Gemini in your earnings house. It is a reset button as well. It's a synodic cycle. It's a magical download day. It's a really ideal time because Venus is right beside Mercury and the sun when this happens. It's an ideal thing for wish fulfillment and magical manifestations and new ideas around resources and money and earnings and savings and it's just good. So use it or lose it. It's a really good day to send an email out about money or financial matters. It's a really good day to have a conversation with the boss. It's a really good day to do something to your face that's important, like sign the contract for your facial rejuvenation or something like that, because this is an auspicious day and you can use it and harness it instead of just letting it go by. Sometimes when Mercury's here, you could get some news about your money story or finances or savings that's good, surprising, but good. All right. So that's a possibility as well. I mean, not surprising like a Uranian surprise, more just like something you weren't seeing that's positive about your financial situation. And now you're able to see clearly and understand clearly how good something really is. On June the 16th to the 18th, Mercury will come into a conjunction to Venus. And this is like really intense positivity. Venus is going to have a mercurial moment, and it's really like that communications house, really, in this regard. It's a Gemini house of speech. So some important conversations or communications are going on that have to do with financial matters for you in a good and potent way on June the 16th to the 18th. At the same time, though, watch out that you don't get sold a bill of goods on any kind of thing you might want to purchase, because you can use your savings to purchase something, or you can spend some money perhaps here for something you really want and desire that may be very beautiful and luxurious. And we're using Jupiter expanding Venus's pleasures here because Jupiter's there too. And it is squaring Neptune. Venus and Mercury are squaring Neptune. And that's going to make it a very confusing, unlikely to be everything you see is what you get kind of situation. And the one trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or the one that you cannot see it so clearly, could be an elder sibling, but also could be somebody in your friendship circles. There's even the possibility of a boss promising you some kind of financial gain, like a raise, a promotion, or a verbal promise. And you have to really be careful here because there may be some manipulation, deceit, some kind of hidden variables. You're kind of starry-eyed and you're not really seeing the financial part of this as clearly as you could. And so just be careful. On June the 20th to the 21st, the sun will also square Neptune, just as Venus and Mercury do on the 16th to the 18th. It's a pileup of everybody squaring Neptune. The sun might help you see more clearly what's really going on. So if you could wait till the 20th and 21st, the sun can be that discriminating awareness in which you're able to pierce the fog of illusion that Neptune has around some kind of financial situation involving an ally, benefactor, friend, elder sibling, or a group event or group of belonging. Who knows, guys? Someone could sell you, a ticket to some event that isn't going to actually happen. I don't know, like the big concert on the lawn, Who knows? Who knows? Moving into the further future, and I don't do the moons. I forgot to tell you that because I do the new moon, full moon in longer form videos. On June the 26th to the 30th, we have Mercury now moved into the sign of Cancer, flowing in a positive trine to Saturn in Pisces. Well, this is going to look like something along the lines, I would say, of you could feel with this flowing energy. Let me double check the exact date of that. I mean, I have it on my notes, but I want to make sure that it's accurate. Hang on. It'll be right there. Mercury is trining. It's at the end of the month. Oh, I'm going by hours. I'm sorry, guys. Blah, blah, blah. Got my charts here. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, almost got you. Mercury's whipping along so fast right now. It's crazy. Yeah, so you start to feel it around June the 25th. So June the 25th through to the 30th, there's this kind of flow vibe going on between the planet Mercury, the god of communications and the god of messages, and he's in the sign of Cancer. And we talked about what Cancer means to you at the beginning of the video. That's your third house of trips and travel. You may be taking a trip, planning a trip, organizing a trip, conversing about a trip. You may also have lots of conversations and social activity, especially with Venus also there, with your friends in the local neighborhood and having a lot of fun in general in a social way. It's ideal for anyone who has an online social media presence platforms and you do digital work. This could really give you a huge boost from that kind of stuff. And that's true, of course, with Mercury in Cancer from June 18th to July 3rd. But this is a sweet spot of collaboration with Saturn. Saturn is the guy who puts the forms and structures into place, and Mercury is the guy who does the communicating and selling. And this is coming off of Saturn in your, oh, hang on a sec. Saturn in your 11th house of great gains in your career, or allies and benefactors and friends from people in high places. So it's just a very sternly positive, robustly structured time around the items I mentioned. Now, you could just travel with this, but it'd be with a friend or plan a trip with a friend or an elder sibling. Or have a lucky break in enrolling in some class or course you wish to take. That would be a skills-based education, right? And then on June the 30th, you're going to find that Mercury will come into a sextile. Well, this is still the June 26th to the 30th, but as we get closer to the 30th, we see a Mercury and Venus energy going on. We see Venus at the last week of June in a sextile to Mars. The cosmic lovers are talking. This is excellent for love and money flow. And you are the Mars energy, and Mars is in Venus's house. So, you know, there's a real energy between them as she watches Mars in the house of Taurus, your sign, and she's seeing it from the Cancer real estate of the chart. I think she might be looking over at him behind her shoulder and saying, come hither, let's do this journey. Let's take this trip. Let's engage in this important decision. And this may involve your significant other, because Mars does rule the house of your significant other. And again, maybe you're making some decisions around a change of neighborhood. That's very possible with somebody else or by yourself, or you're making some Mars decisions about money and social and love stories connected to neighborhoods and neighbors. And this would be good for a dating app moment. If you're a singleton and you want to do some dating, this has dating app luck written all over it. Again, June the 26th to the 30th. And near the end of that, closer to the 30th, Mercury will sextile Uranus, a surprise, yay! And that surprise is something that is going to hit you very personally. Uranus is in Taurus, right? And it can be a good surprise or a sudden unexpected twist or turn regarding education, trips, travel, siblings, and the local neighborhood and neighbors. There's a possibility here that you also could have a feeling during this month of June of some lucky opportunity regarding committed love. I mean, if you're a single Taurus, you could become very quickly committed to somebody in a relationship this month because of the travel of Juno direct now through your house of romantic love. Okay. That's it. I think I'm losing my voice these days. I'm talking all the time on my classes. Well, not classes now, with my clients, with you guys here on YouTube. I probably need to take voice practice lessons not to strain my vocal cords. All right. Anything else I forgot to say? I don't think so. If you want to get all this content early access ad-free, like my Patreon community will get this on May the 7th. You will get it 2 weeks later. Just try me out. The link to my Patreon community for mere $5 a month is below. I always give you 2 free gifts for trying me out. It's Chiron, the Key to Purpose, and Synastry, Are You My Person? A relationship course and a Chiron course. These are replays valued at $44 in the retail market right now. You get those replays for free for giving me a try. You get to keep the courses forever. So come on board my Patreon community where you and I can have a more intimate engagement together. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful month, Taurus. June looking good on your finances.